throwing fits, ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting a fool, this embarrassing is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system tainted. But when we speak, they all laugh at us, and y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Try to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing, obviously never silent. New alignment, I'm defiant, cannot describe it. Used to describe it as a young graffiti artist. Before the beard, I always got carded. Hit every bar, even though my bar's been the hardest. The scars on my face, and I ain't always been the smartest, but I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops my soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday. Hanging with the fellas.
What a crazy Tuesday it's been.
Oh, welcome. Robert, Pinky, how are we doing this evening for a little sports nonsense and whiskey?
We be chilling, my guy. There's been a lot of things happening, not only in the nerdverse, but the sportsverse, specifically NFL, and jaws are hitting the floor.
That's fairly accurate, yeah. Yeah.
I call the shots how I see them, my good sir. You know this. You know this.
Caleb,
And,
my good man. I've got a question for you.
I like questions.
And I want you to explain.
Oh boy.
We did a post this last week. It did. It went quickly. Did a post this weekend that I understand what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. But a lot of the people out there do not understand, or maybe didn't take the time to read it. They just saw the headline. You wrote a very wonderfully done article about Emmitt Smith is overrated. Backing up a lot of that opinion with stats, ideas, and comments about other players who were, or again, you're not saying he didn't have the greatest career. He's probably had the greatest career of any running back. Just said like he wasn't the best running back of all time. Tell the people why is Emmitt Smith overrated overall?
So, couple things. I didn't write it per se. AI helped a lot. Your boy's learning to use technology now a little bit, and
got to work smarter, not harder.
And one of these days, he's going to get his computer set up.
Yeah. Had an idea I've been playing around with for a while. I kind of have the information, but I don't have all the sources kind of thing. Bounced it off the fellas and said, hey, what do you guys think if I roll with this? They said, yeah.
Yep.
Because I understood the premise. And then we're learning to also play the game a little bit. So went with, as much as we hate to do it, a maybe slightly clickbaity headline, Emmitt Smith overrated. But if you took the time to read it, you would have seen one of the very first things it says is this is not taking away or diminishing the fact that Emmitt Smith is an all-time great. What it is trying to do and trying to say is quite arguably he was in the best situation you possibly could have asked for as a running back. And given that fact, are there others out there who could have possibly produced the same or more? And the conclusion, call it bias if you want to, because I think this way, that's fine. And I've said before, numbers can tell any story you want them to. So don't tell us we're stupid or that we don't know ball. Just go use the numbers and tell the other side of the story then, okay? It's that simple, and there's respect within that. Spouting off the mouth loses all respect. So, but I'm trying to convey a thought that in team sports, situation has a lot to do with career and legacy. Now, everybody wants to talk about Emmitt Smith's accomplishments and his stats and his trophies. That's awesome. And I don't diminish any of that, but it's still a team game. So there are a lot of other factors that go into his ability to accomplish those things. This isn't tennis, for instance, where you can look at it and say, we just witnessed arguably the greatest generation of tennis ever to play with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. And Djokovic came out as the best. He has the most Grand Slams, the wins, everything is there. It's an individual accomplishment in an individual sport that's very easy to see. We don't have that on this. So I think there is a lot of gray area that allows for the ability to have a conversation that says, hey, because of A, B, and C, I think this guy could have actually been better. This guy I would actually pick over that guy because of this. No, maybe his stats don't look as good. No, maybe his career doesn't look as good. But maybe my eye tests and certain things, statistically speaking, say that there is a possibility that he could have been better if he had the same situation. So I picked some random players to go within this list and generate. And what came back, honestly, was a bit surprising. Now, could it be because I started the premise with Emmitt Smith is overrated, and so it spit out such that it's going to say Emmitt Smith is overrated? Yes, absolutely. By no means am I
That's what
trying
he
to
wanted
hide
it to do.
We're not trying to hide those facts, guys. That was the point of the premise of the whole situation, to have the conversation.
Now, so Caleb, I do want to say one thing with this, though, because this is always the big talks in sports circles, is the big what ifs. What if LeBron played in the Michael Jordan era? What if Michael Jordan played in the LeBron era, and et cetera, et cetera? So why this has become such a polarizing thing with our post is beyond me, because the what if is the best part about sports, is if you put this in this situation, what happens? How do those pieces fit?
I think it's,
and I love this. I think
this
it's
is
one
very
of the best
much
things that we've got to talk about.
So I love that question, Robert. To me, the Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith conversation is very much a Jordan-esque, LeBron-esque conversation.
I thank you. That's where I was hoping you were.
Now,
gonna go,
the difference being, the people who defend Emmitt are very much, for the most part, going to be Dallas fans. The rest of the NFL fandom is going to be Barry fans. I think that's kind of the split there, a large majority wise.
That's what comes up a lot, but I think, again, I would throw down the gauntlet that if you put Adrian Peterson with Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin in that O-line, like, they don't lose a game. LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk, a couple guys brought up O.J. Simpson and Eric Dickerson, guys that you didn't have on your breakdown, which was, again, and I thought that was so funny, as you had to keep explaining. This is not an all-time top 10 list. This is, this was just a list to use as an example.
Well, and I picked the guys very specifically, a very specific reason. I wanted variety from eras, and I wanted variety in situation, but still looking at guys who, talent-wise, eye test-wise, you could say, yeah, damn, they were really good. So I started with the top four, the standard kind of top four that everybody wants to talk about. Brown, Peyton, Smith, and Sanders, right? But then there are some other names that I think you could easily talk about based on talent, but maybe their careers were shortened for one reason or another, or maybe their situations weren't as great. And you look at Sayers, Derrick Henry, Bo Jackson, and Todd Gurley. And Todd Gurley is the one that gets the most hate. And I understand why. But if you really watch that dude play football, he was elite on a really bad team, and his body, his knees were not meant to play football.
It wasn't even a bad team.
Early.
They were good.
Before my time.
The Rams were good. He was getting them in the playoffs every year. He just would get hurt when it was in crunch time.
Saying the Rams were good, I think, is a bit of a stretch. I think Gurley was really good. Without him,
I'm pretty sure he was there the whole time McVay's been there. So,
yeah, but he was with McVay. That was the end of his career. He started with Fisher.
He got drafted by Fisher, but that was only 1 year. The following year, McVay took over.
I don't think he was with McVay that long.
Let's see. I'll look it up.
Either way, he had opportunities that because of his body did not hold up. So Bo Jackson's starting to get a little bit of hate too, which I'm actually a little bit surprised at the number of people who say Bo Jackson's overrated. Like, there's enough on tape in my mind to say, yeah, that's one of the most talented running backs we've ever seen in our lives. He just didn't get to play long enough to accumulate the stats. His body failed him. Like, it is what it is. So
of his 5 years, McVay was his coach for 3 of them. And they were 3 of his most productive years. So.
Okay, fair. I know one season was basically 2,000 total scrimmage yards and 19 touchdowns. The next season was basically the same with a little bit more, like 22 total touchdowns. And then knees gone, completely gone. But he was going to be a problem. But body didn't hold up. There's other names mentioned, like Pinky said, Marshawn Lynch, Terrell Davis, Curtis Martin. There are other names you could have put in here and gone with and said, given Barry's situation, maybe they do better. Yes. I just picked some kind of, I don't want to say random, but some names that I thought kind of fit the idea of what we were going with and then ran with it. So thank you, kind sir, for the kind words.
I appreciated the debate. I loved seeing a lot of the comments. Some people read the post. Some people went to, well, you don't have this guy on here, so this is nonsense. Like completely overlooking it. Some people were like Emmitt Smith's the greatest of all time, and still like they didn't read it through. And that just shows you like who they are. Like they just wanted to get out their opinion without taking out somebody else's. I'm like, hey, read the post. If you don't agree with it, cool. Like that's fine. You don't have to.
Read the post, explains the post, etc. I get told this all the time when I play card games. Read the card, explains the card. Read the post, explains the post. If you actually read it, then maybe you actually can have an intelligent take instead of just throwing bullshit.
No, you could read the post and still completely
have the same way.
It.
Sure, but that's the point. That's the idea.
At the end of the day, we can all agree Emmitt Smith is overrated.
That is the tag for the week. Emmitt Smith is overrated.
All right, let's start talking about some current football.
Where do you want to start, Pinky? Because it's just been a tidal wave of.
I'll tell you where we start. You know who's not in the playoffs? The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, it's almost like I said that they weren't a primetime team the entire season.
Yeah, since that whole post is because I'm a Cowboy hater.
I swear to God, if the Cowboys get like another 6 primetime games next season, I'm going to be pissed.
My 2 co-hosts may be, but the person who wrote it, as a podcast majority, we might be, but the person who wrote it was not. That didn't work either.
It did not. Let's talk about Black Monday.
Dude, there's a lot to discuss.
The toughest day in the NFL. A lot of coaches, a lot of families, a lot of folks are impacted on Black Monday every year. It's tough because in some cases, fans and fan bases are excited about these people losing their jobs. That is the nature of the business. When you break it down on a human level, it's like, oh, that's kind of sucks. Like Pete Carroll. He just got to Vegas. He's already out. Trying to think of who else was one and done.
But that's been the Raiders theme for a while.
I mean, you got to know that when you take the job. Now he's still going to enjoy that money for the next couple of years.
He's still owed like $16 million.
He's owed a lot more than that.
Dude, that post or photo you shared in the group chat, Pinky, where they're paying out they're going to
Jim Harbaugh
like 50-something million.
Oh. Yeah, the Raiders won.
The Raiders, like 50-something million to ex-coaches going forward. Like, damn. And Davis already is on the bottom end of ownership levels of finances.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bottom end. So, damn.
So let's, this was the only graphic I could pull up in time for the show. I wanted to try to get a comprehensive list of who was fired. this Monday.
Well, we should just go with everybody that's been fired up in 2 this Monday because there's quite a few positions open at this point. I think there's 7 total right now.
The Atlanta head coach was fired Sunday night.
They did not waste time.
Up the owner and the owner's son, and then an hour later was let go.
So
that was crazy.
here's what we got. The first one that got the chop was Brian Callahan for the Titans. He was fired back on October 13th.
Not an attractive job.
Yeah, that's not an attractive job at all. They are that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I think they're going to get the Vance Josephs of the world, the guys who need a second opportunity and aren't going to ask for a lot of money.
Possibly.
Right? You got Brian DeBall from the Giants. He was fired November 10th.
That job is attractive. The thing that makes it not attractive is the GM's still there. But outside of that, that roster is attractive.
The GM and the city itself is tough. So, but we'll see what happens there.
You don't have to live in New York, right? They play in New Jersey anyways. So.
Right. But, the New York media as a whole is pretty... I mean, look, if you win, it doesn't matter. The media loves you. But that's been a city that's been tough on coaches regardless.
Fair.
You got Raheem Morris fired Sunday night right after the game, which
I think that's an attractive job.
You knew that was going to happen. Interesting thing about the Falcons is they are hiring a new president of football operations.
Okay.
And the rumor is it is Matt Ryan that will be taking over that job, but still calling games for CBS.
No, I heard he's out at CBS, so that would line up then.
Is he?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was trying to figure out what the reasoning behind that was, but I didn't get too deep down the rabbit hole before we jumped on here, so I wasn't going to say anything. But I did see something about him being out at CBS. So, but I hadn't seen the president of football operations rumor, so that actually would line up then, I would think.
Yeah, that's almost like it's a surefire thing, but they have to post the job, they have to interview it.
Okay.
Then we had Kevin Stefanski fired by the Browns. This had to happen, right?
Yeah.
This had to happen.
We were all waiting.
But I still think he's a good coach.
I can't remember the source I read it from, but it was like a major media outlet source, so it was like worth paying attention to. He was very against the Deshaun Watson move.
Right.
So if you think about that, and you think about what happened since the Deshaun Watson move, it completely lines up where we were thinking maybe this isn't a coach of the year guy. Like, why are we so confused? He's a 2-time coach of the year. We thought he was a really good coach, but what we're seeing right now isn't he hated being there. I think he was trying to make it work, but his heart, everything else, he wasn't being listened to, this, that, and the other. They kept trying to handcuff him instead of maybe trying to listen to him a little bit about what he could accomplish and what he could do given. I think he's done. And a new scene for him, we might see a rejuvenated guy that everybody was so high on 5-6 years ago and realize why they were so high on him. And you put him with one of these good situations, they could take off real quick.
Good. Pete Carroll fired by the Raiders. I mean,
what a bad situation.
It's just,
that is not an attractive job either. No matter what Brady tries to sell, nothing about that job is attractive. Unless Brady's going to guarantee you that you get to coach the team for 5 years. Like somehow you get in the contract, they cannot fire you until after 5 years. So that you can actually have an opportunity to lay out your vision. Because otherwise, you get 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky, and then they will give you the boot.
That's been their
Davis
MO.
way.
Now, I mean, they've just, again, when the organization sucks, the organization sucks. Like, no coaches can fix that, right? For the most part. You had Jonathan Gannon fired by the Cardinals. Not a surprise. They just...
I am a little surprised by that one. He was even willing to go to Jacoby Brissett and show he could win. Murray wasn't his guy.
Yeah, but I think that's what got him canned, anyways.
Maybe
Unfortunately,
he backed
I still think.
Murray and wanted to
I
go
think
back
he's.
to him, and they said no. I don't know.
He'll go back to being a DC, and he'll get a second job. I have no doubt.
He will probably get a second opportunity sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I got no qualms about that one for him. And then the news today, John Harbaugh was mutually agreed to part ways, according to some reports, fired by other reports.
I saw. Did you see the report of why it ultimately was decided to part ways, whether it was fired or not? I saw a report that said it was due to him unwilling to part ways with Monken.
Monken wasn't the problem.
Oh, I disagree, but I don't think he's been a great play caller.
No, the issue the issue the Ravens had this year was their O-line was not good. It was injured and not good, and then Lamar was injured quite a bit of the year.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm just saying I heard the rumor, and it would track that he would want to stick with that guy going forward, and I think he should move on. I mean, think about how many times we've talked about Derrick Henry not touching the ball in the fourth quarter and then losing games. That is directly on the OC. Now, the head coach has to align with that OC's game plan and be willing to say cool to an extent. But so we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Last week, a couple weeks ago, and we talked about specifically him and Tomlin. And not that they're not good coaches, but it hasn't just kind of run its course, and there's time for new blood. Exactly. A new voice, a new vision, whatever you want to call it. And it feels like both the Ravens and Harbaugh have kind of found ways to say, by kind of like almost saying, here's my line, give me what I want or else kind of thing. They've kind of both said, like, we're good to mutually part ways. We understand it's run its course, right? So it almost feels like had Harbaugh won, this would have been Tomlin and the Steelers mutually parting ways.
So, but does that still happen?
Well, and so I was going to ask you, I didn't know if we were done kind of here and we want to move to what ifs, maybe guys that should have gone but kept their jobs, or maybe they still will lose their jobs. Maybe. It seems like to an extent, the way him and Rodgers have walked off the field at times, seems like his demeanor's been slightly different in press conferences this year. Maybe he's ready to move to TV, a la the way Cowher did it, and kind of ride off into the sunset. Not with a Super Bowl win per se, but being one of the best coaches to ever do it and still winning. I mean, 10-7, you know? So winning the division, still winning with what many argue is not a great roster. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe this is his last hurrah, and they're going to try to ride it out as far as they can, him and Rodgers, and everybody knows it, but it's just not public yet. We will see, but it wouldn't surprise me by any means if Tomlin made that decision, or him and the Steelers have already made that decision.
It's a tough one. I think he's still a good coach. I would just say the message has probably grown stale. He's also been in a tough situation where they win enough games every year that they really don't get the high draft picks, and then they have to rely more on drafting the right players all the time to build that depth. They don't do a lot of crazy stuff in free agency. I think the craziest thing was this year they traded for DK Metcalf and gave him all that money.
But you got to ask who's making the decisions. Like, you decided to go Aaron Rodgers was your ultimate plan instead of Sam Darnold. Right. Where Sam Darnold looks like he could be a franchise quarterback for the next 6+ years.
He looks like
rebuilt.
Look, wait, hang on. He looks like Caleb. We're still questioning this now.
There's still a debate.
I mean, not from me.
I was about to say, I have a hard time with it, with the numbers and things that he's putting up with two different franchises. Like, I
look,
think
you know who you're talking to. I've done my Sam Darnold spiel. I'm not going to try to rehash.
I'm jumping on the Caleb side of this wagon. I really think that Sam's done he's paid.
I think you could still make an argument, but at the moment, if you were Sam Darnold's more of a franchise quarterback than he's not.
So,
but I think you could still make the argument.
You're making these choices. I think you had I still think Justin Fields gave you a better opportunity to win last year than Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I
mean, I really think the Steelers should have kept him.
Am I wrong about Justin Fields being a starter in the NFL? It kind of looks like I am. Yes. Okay, fine. That doesn't take away, based on what Russ did last year and what Fields did last year, that Fields was not the better option. So
interesting take, Cody.
You look at what Tomlin's doing and the decisions that are being made. How many of them are on him? How many of them are on the GM, the ownership? Where does it lie? I don't know.
I love this from Cody. If Buffalo loses, I think McDermott's getting fired.
Only if he loses to the Jags?
So, if they lose to the Jags, yes. If they get embarrassed by the Broncos, absolutely. Okay. Interesting.
I think
if Buffalo wins, they're most likely coming to Denver. If they got beat pretty good by Denver, then I could see McDermott getting fired.
If he doesn't make the Super Bowl, would you say the same thing? Does an AFC Championship game change your mind?
How do you ask out your crush?
Yeah. Jeremy, my guy, this is the wrong podcast to get that advice.
Yeah, I've been married for 25 years.
Just go up and say it, my guy.
I got it for him. I got him. Jeremy, help you out, brother. Confidence will always do you right. No stuttering, no anything. No waiting, no silence. Come on right out and say it. Confidence always works.
Yeah. You want the quick yes or no. You don't need a string.
Don't drag it out.
Attached to it. Yeah.
It's not you, it's
no,
me.
If you're in the friend zone or not in the friend zone right away, and then start moving along. That's the best way to handle it.
All right, boys. I got to get more whiskey.
It's the best way to handle it.
Keep talking about. Yeah, I spilled half of it before I got down here.
All right. I don't even. That's alcohol abuse, but anyway.
So he never even answered my question. He just.
How rude.
Squirrels all the time. This guy. I would say if McDermott doesn't get to the Super Bowl, anybody that thinks he should lose his job if they lose to the Jags should be pounding the table for the exact same thing unless they get to a Super Bowl.
Do you think the Bills can do it, Caleb?
I think they can still win it all. Yeah, absolutely. Josh Allen's their quarterback. This offense has showed it can score points and run the ball.
Especially since all of his greatest enemies are out. Joey B, Lamar, Patty Mahomes. Like, Josh Allen has a good shot if he plays the game. Plays a good game. Good few games. I think he deserves one, just like Lamar deserves one, but you got to win the games.
Yeah, it's the team played better down the stretch. I feel like their defense started to play a little bit better down the stretch as well. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Buffalo. Very interesting. I know Cody also said something about Stefanski to the Falcons. I could see that for sure. Still no quarterback there, though. I think he's ready to have a quarterback. So I see him more along the lines of New York. Baltimore is very interesting now that opened up with Stefanski. And being the offensive guy, he can run the system he wants to. He doesn't have to bring in somebody else. So I would probably argue Stefanski for New York or Baltimore above anybody else because of the simple fact that they have a quarterback already. And he wants to go somewhere where he can have a quarterback finally.
Who are we talking about?
Stefanski, where he ends up. Cody had mentioned Stefanski to Atlanta. And I said that's interesting with the talent, but they don't have a quarterback. unless you think he can do something with Michael Penix. But I feel like they're still.
They did just restructure Cousins' contract. I didn't see what they did, but I did see that they did restructure it.
Ooh.
Probably because Cousins thinks he's got an opportunity to start for him still next year and win the job with the new coach, knowing that him and Penix are under contract. He could, if that's what the new coach has to work with.
No, they restructured it so they can release him.
That makes more sense. That would make more sense. So who knows?
So by restructuring him, they basically gave him more of his money now.
Yes,
and then they can release him and spread it out amongst 2 years. So.
We'll see, but I think he ends up somewhere that's got an established quarterback already that he likes. I think Arizona's interesting because they want to get out of the Kyler Murray deal, right? How, and what, and then does Kyler end up somewhere else?
If he does, I bet he goes to Miami.
There's another interesting one. McDaniels.
Hey, Derpy!
And they're trying to get out of the Tua contract. And it sounds like both are going to happen this offseason. And I think Sean Payton being willing to dump Russell Wilson and his contract showed the rest of the league that it's better to just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and be unwhole for a couple years and go out and try to find your next guy than it is to keep that guy and try to save the money. And more owners are going to be willing to rip that Band-Aid off, I think. So I think Murray and Tua both get moved or cut. Most likely cut, because it's very doubtful a team's going to want to take on either one of those contracts.
Yeah, Tua's is
it's bad. It's real bad.
$99 million.
So does Miami become an attractive job for a GM?
He hasn't been fired yet.
No, I'm saying for a GM. They need a new GM. McDaniels is still the coach. But if you're going to move on from Tua, if McDaniels was kind of screaming that the whole time, let's just play this out. If McDaniels was like, Tua's not the dude, but I can make it work. And the GM was like, this is our dude. And that's the reason McDaniels is keeping a job and the GM was let go. Well, now it's going to be on McDaniels more so to say, okay, we're going to get you your guy now. What do you do? And it'll be easy for the new GM to kind of part ways if it doesn't work, right? That's always been the story of how that works out. Very rarely does the new GM come in and then keep the old head coach. Now, Arizona's different, though. They're starting fresh with everything. They're going to have new quarterback coach, GM, everything. So they've got to fill all the positions, right? They're finding a new GM too, aren't they? Didn't they let their GM go earlier?
I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe they're keeping their GM and they just need to do coach and quarterback. But even still, it doesn't necessarily make it an attractive job because, one, in what many are considering a very weak draft class for quarterbacks, you're not picking high enough to get one of the top two dudes that everybody thinks you need to have. And two, even if you get those guys, if it doesn't work out, which does Arizona have holes? Do they not? We're unsure a little bit. Not maybe a great situation. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if any of these jobs are really jobs that you might want to wait.
Super attractive. Baltimore's a super attractive job.
I mean, that one's attractive. I'll agree with that.
Consistent
but all the rest,
ownership, star quarterback. Even if they move on from Lamar or something, you know that the ownership's willing to reload or take risks to become better. Like that is a really attractive job.
There's no way they move off of Lamar this year. No way.
I'm just saying, even if they did, like there's you pretty much know you're going to be given a level of stability to try and implement your vision and do some winning. They're not just going to jump ship and be scared right away. It's not really what they're known for.
We'll see who they hire as their next head coach, because again, they haven't had to do it in 18 years, so we don't know.
What do the Browns do?
Browns are going to find somebody cheap and willing to go there, because
why would
what coach wants to go there? Shador, Dylan Gabriel,
I still think Shedeur played well enough to say, yeah, we can build on that, but we have to get an O-line and we need to get some wide receivers. Like, you have to do things that
he was pretty bad in certain spots that make
I'm
me
not saying he wasn't.
question.
He looked like a rookie, but rarely do rookies get inserted in the middle of the season and look better than that. No training camp, no reps with the first team. There are, like, yes, we're Shedeur fans, or we were. So if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about the full context of the situation. He was put on the back burner, and then midway through the season was given some starts and asked to go out and accomplish something. That's like asking for lightning in a bottle, and that's very rare. And especially when you're asking that from a rookie. So realistically, I think given that situation, he showed enough that you should give him a full offseason of next year, especially considering the money of his salary and the ways you can use that to build a team. Like, that's unheard of. So there's enough positives there I think you build around it, especially with the amount of draft picks you have. You basically hit on all your draft picks last year, outside of Dylan Gabriel in my mind. You got a great tight end. You got a great running back. Unfortunately, the running back's not going to be able to play next year. May never look the same again. It's bad knee injury, so we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he makes a full recovery because Judkins is a game changer. But you got a tight end. You need to address the line. You need a wide receiver. Could address the running back spot, but the defense looks like it's going to be solid for a little while based on what you did last year. You got a couple picks this year. Don't go use it on the quarterback. Go use it and put some pieces around him and see what happens. But you need to go get an offensive-minded head coach.
I mean, they've got
that can truly develop and mold and grow him, and see if what happens can happen. If what we think can happen can happen.
They've got what, the third pick?
Yeah, well, the third and the what?
Whatever Jacksonville ends up at.
Yeah. So you're going to get, if you're drafting in the first round, you should be drafting a starter. If you're drafting in the second round, you should be drafting a starter. If you're drafting in the third round, then we can talk a little bit. Is that a starter or is it a development? It depends on the draft class and how deep it is and stuff like that. But first two rounds should be not miss starters for your team. Guaranteed, step in day one and go. And they're going to have 4 or 5 picks in the first two rounds this year. Like, man. Even if you think Shedeur can just be a game manager, let's say you think you can get him to there, back to where he's got a high completion percentage, you can curtail the sacks and he doesn't turn it over a lot. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer or anything special, but he can win you 10 to 11 games a year as the starter. You build around that. Especially when there's not multiple guys in the draft that are coming out that people are like, that's generational.
Well, and when the first two teams ahead of you need a quarterback, you're probably screwed. So you would say Mendoza and Moore are probably 1-2, right? Whichever order, whichever one you prefer. Is there a third guy?
Absolutely. I don't see how that's any debate right now, unless coming up here in a couple of days, one of them just falls completely on their face and has the worst thing you could possibly happen. Then maybe.
I don't know about that. All right, well, let's get out of the Black Monday and let's get into we have a wonderful weekend of football. Actually,
that is
you know
an
what?
Understatement, Pinky.
All right, hold on. I did it backwards. Let's talk our wonderful weekend of football starting Thursday. And I believe it's Miami and Georgia on Thursday, right? And then Indiana and Oregon on Friday.
That sounds right. I'll double check.
I believe that's right. My new boss is a crazy college football fan. Like, he loves college football. He comes and talks to me about college football, I'm pretty sure. And he went to mention that he was not going to root for Miami. And I was like, that's a jerk move, boss. It's a jerk move. But he did root for Miami against Ohio State, so at least I'll take that.
That's a win in my book.
Yeah, Thursday is Miami Ole Miss. Miami Ole Miss. You said Georgia. Why do you have Georgia there? It's Ole Miss.
I don't know. I got this graphic. I thought it was somehow they've got Georgia on this graphic.
Apologies for our not big college football fan, ladies and gentlemen.
News.
I didn't look at
Fake
that. I should have seen that sooner.
Hold on.
It's not Georgia. It's Ole Miss. Ole Miss won. Hey, guys, guess who went 7 for 8 predicting the college football matchups? This guy. Guess which one I got wrong?
Ohio State.
Yeah, the U got me. My disdain for the U overtook my ability to be objective.
All right, boys. I can't find a better graphic right now, Robert.
Yeah, well, Miami Ole Miss Thursday, Oregon Indiana Friday.
I gotta talk. I gotta talk about this game though. Miami Ohio State. I gotta talk about it.
Miami Ole Miss.
No, I know. I'm going back a little bit.
Oh.
I got a story.
Oh, okay.
So, Miami, Ohio State. It's on in the evening on New Year's Eve. I am excited to just sit home, watch the game, have a good time. And my wife was deadly ill. Deadly ill. Like, she laid in bed all day. Because she was in bed all day sick, I had to go get my father-in-law from the airport, from DIA, during the Miami game. I've got it on my phone, and so I'm literally listening to the audio because I'm not looking at my phone while I'm driving. And get up to DIA. I pick them up. I swear, when Miami got the ball back in the fourth quarter, up 3 points, I almost crashed. I was like, oh my God. And then we scored, and it was like, I really should not be driving right now. Like, this is dangerous. Oh, such a moment. Thank you, Miami, for at least making us relevant. What a game. That was a crazy game, too, by the way. Just because first half all Miami, second half all Ohio State. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't who knows which Miami team is going to show up. Ole Miss is running on Team of Destiny kind of stuff right now with their storyline and Lane Kiffin going and coaches coming or leaving. Charlie Weiss is apparently part of LSU, but on loan to Ole Miss, but he's heading to the NFL. There's a lot of moving parts. Chambliss is trying to get a 6-year of eligibility while all this is going on, and who knows if that'll be granted. It's wild. So between that situation and what Miami shows you from a week-to-week basis, although I will say the last couple they looked better, I am leaning towards sticking with Ole Miss here. I don't feel good about this because I think Miami is the more talented roster. That's better.
I got you, Caleb. Don't worry.
Maybe I'll go with Miami. I'm very torn on this matchup, Pinky. Very, very torn on this matchup. I got to make a decision.
We're the underdogs.
I'm going to go the U.
That means they're going to lose now. They're going to lose now.
I'm going to go the U. I think that defense shows up and finally causes some issues for that Ole Miss offense that's kind of been rolling here of recent. And I think that Miami defense can cause enough chaos that it gets it done. I do.
That Miami D-line is pretty good. It's pretty good. Bain is a top 10 draft pick. Easy. So
my heart really kind of wants to lean towards Ole Miss, but maybe if Miami gets there, Nebraska can get there again.
He won't be wrong twice.
I think
we'll go Miami there. Let's call it 24-20-ish. Ole Miss might have a chance late with the ball. Miami stops them just like they did this last weekend with Ohio State. That kind of feels about right. 24-20. The U.
This is the game that's like, I have no idea what's going to happen. But Indiana and Oregon, oh man, this should be a good game. Let's go. Although Indiana did smacked the shit out of the Ducks earlier this year. I'm pretty sure.
They won by a field goal, a touchdown.
I'm gonna look it up.
It was a good game.
I thought they smacked them.
This is why I like Indiana. I think their defense has only improved, and Oregon's weak link is still pressure. When you can get pressure up the middle, and Indiana's gonna bring.
It was 30-20.
30-20, 10-point game. Okay. I think we see a really good game. Maybe another 30-20 type game, in all honesty. I think it will feel a little bit closer than a 10-point game, even if the final score is 10-point difference. But the confidence in which Mendoza and the boys played with after that first 3 and out for the rest of the game against Alabama, like, you could just see that start to overflow within them. And they are on an all-time heater run that I'm going to say something right now, and it's going to sound absurd. But Indiana right now, in the run they're on, is putting themselves in position to be mentioned with one of the all-time great teams in the history of the sport.
The problem I have with that is I don't know if the teams this year have been that great overall. So they're just the best team of kind of meh. Man, I don't know. That might be some recency bias, Caleb.
Think about how much parity you're talking about right now in college football, Pinky.
All I know is I remember LSU just smacking everybody, and that was with
LSU's defense was not good.
They weren't great. Yes, that's true. But
everybody wants to talk about that as one of the greatest teams ever, but that was really just one of the greatest offenses ever, not one of the greatest teams ever. And so if you go up one of the greatest teams ever that actually had a real defense, that changes a little bit, because you're going up against offense. Sorry, you're going up against another great offense, all-time offense. LSU's defense isn't holding up. So that's not. Pick one of the USC teams, I would say all-time great. You know how I feel about my Huskers. Miami's got a team or two in there.
That Texas 05 team was pretty good.
That was a really good team. I think the Michigan run from a couple years ago with the first college football playoff, right before the first college football playoff, was a really good team. Last year's Ohio State team, as much as anybody wants to downplay it, I still say up to that point that was the hardest college football championship to win, because you had to win multiple games to get it. It wasn't just one game at the end of the season and somebody voted it for you. So I think people want to downplay this era because of NIL and transfer and everything. I think people want to downplay it because it's Indiana and it's not one of the blue bloods or one of the big names currently. But you look at the way they have played this year and absolutely destroyed everybody. You look at the games they've had against ranked opponents and what they've done against them. It has been complete dominance. They are arguably the best offense and the best defense in the country. There's a lot of reasons you could argue that. And I'm going to throw it out there now, and that's coming from somebody who thinks his team is still the best all time. And one of the reasons for that is because it was a great team, not necessarily any great individuals. And that's what this Indiana team reminds me a lot of.
All right, you got the hook. Robert gave us the music already. Indiana going to win it all. Going to be one of the best teams of all time, according to Caleb.
Yep. And I got surprise topics.
I haven't picked them yet to win it all. I just said the heater they're on right now, if it continues, they could be in a conversation. I've only picked the next round.
And then we get back after Thursday and Friday.
Thursday, Friday, dude. That's Thursday and Friday night. Then we get to start this Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah. I've already told the wife, we're not really doing anything this weekend.
I'm in class all day Saturday and Sunday. I'm a little upset.
Well, and then you were talking about playing Warhammer on Sunday. Like,
I'm not playing Warhammer on Sunday. My league starts on Sunday. I don't play Sunday.
Oh,
I play next Sunday.
Okay. Well, during the playoffs, Sunday is not a good idea to play anything because that's when the playoffs typically happen.
I didn't make this schedule.
Well, you need to tell them you start this after freaking February.
Maybe I can talk the wife into grabbing Merrick and meeting you somewhere for a meal for one of the games, or at least half of one of them.
I'll meet you for the afternoon game. My class is over at 2:30.
Might be able to do the first
Robert, what's the schedule for the games? Pull them up. The TV.
We need to
schedule.
look at it. We need to look it up.
All right. I just want to say, this is fun, at least for this week, that the Broncos and the Seahawks are number one.
Woo!
Obviously,
at least
we
for
are.
This week, as it stands right now, neither one of them have to play.
They will not. They will not lose this week.
Look, I'm wearing this outfit tonight in honor of you two predicting the Broncos correctly at 14-3 and being the 1 seed in the AFC. So, well done, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now,
thank you.
This week, Robert,
Saturday.
What's the schedule?
Ooh, I'm gonna be able to make it. Saturday, 2:30, the Rams and the Panthers kick it off.
You know what? I was so like, my first reaction was like, oh, the Rams are gonna roll, and then I remembered the Panthers beat the Rams.
Yes, they did.
30. What was it? 31-30.
No,
it was a high-scoring game.
No, it was not that close.
I'll
pull it up. Matt Stafford is the MVP, though. Let's go ahead and just, mention that right now. It was 31-28. The Rams did come back in that game.
So my memory is not as bad as people tell me it is.
So
it may not be as accurate as I would like it to be, but it's not as bad as people say it.
I don't think the Panthers are going to surprise the Rams this time around. I do think the Rams are going to roll.
Oh.
That's a bold prediction.
I never like it. I never like a team backing in to the playoffs either. To lose your game to end week 18, and then on top of that, have a team help you get into the playoffs, even though they had the same record as you. I just don't like it. I don't like that at all. I know we could. I'm on the fence about should they be hosting this game or not. I know that's a thing that the rules committee is going to review.
Oh, wait. Hang on. When I broached this topic years ago and have brought it up every year since up until this point, you have told me I'm a complete idiot and division winners should automatically have home games. Are you telling me that without sending me at least a my bad, you have completely switched gears and now are on board?
I know. I said I was on the fence. Difference. I'm still on the fence because I do think winning your division does still matter.
Yeah, it gets you in the playoffs regardless of your record.
There's just, this just happens.
The Panthers shouldn't even be in the playoffs. If you just went on record, they shouldn't even be in the playoffs. So this idea that winning your division doesn't mean anything is so silly to me because an automatic into the playoffs should be a huge deal. And people are treating it like that's not enough. You have to have home field. What?
I said I was on the fence. I didn't say I was on one side or the other. So that's the 2:30 game. Robert, Saturday. You're on. Who are you? You're picking the Rams.
I have to pick the Rams for my dad. Got to go with the Rams.
Rams. Okay. Rams. Caleb.
I'm gonna say the Rams win Man, I'm kind of wanting to lean towards kind of you rolling with it. But Carolina can run the ball so well.
But
And
they
the
haven't the
Rams,
last like 2 or 3 weeks.
yeah, I know.
I've bet on Rico Dottle 40
I
yards rushing
know.
3 weeks in a
But
row, and all 3 weeks.
the biggest issue the Rams have had all season is when teams can run the ball on them.
I just don't think the Panthers are going to surprise the Rams this week.
No, I feel like McVay. I think Canales is a pretty good coach, but McVay is like, you know, talking about somebody that's going to over game plan. It's going to be him. He's going to
McVay is an elite coach.
Yeah, he's going to have contingencies for his contingencies, kind of thing. Like, and he's been here, right? He's had the opportunity to go through the playoffs, go to the Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl. He knows the different levels of meticulousness you need to have in these situations. So, yeah, I think the Rams win. I struggle on whether or not it's a close game or a blowout, but I think I'm going to kind of lean towards you and say we'll get, 10 plus?
Yeah. All right. What's the next game on Saturday, Robert?
Packers and Bears at
Ooh,
6 p.m.
that's juicy. That's juicy.
Did he turn off his mic? What's going on here? Where's this guy at?
I'm right here.
You were far away.
Oh, my bad.
That's so much better.
My bad. Yes, the Packers and the Bears, 6 p.m. I'm going with the Bears because Ben Johnson.
The Bears and Ben Johnson. That's got to hurt as a Lions fan. It really
makes me want to fucking cry.
Now, Malik Willis will not be playing in this game. He's hurt. He's not playing. Jordan Love should be back.
Their arguably MVP candidate quarterback is going to be playing and starting. Yeah, that's okay. You want to talk about teams backing into the playoffs? Packers are
that tie really helped.
Goodness gracious, anomaly.
I think if that tie doesn't happen, I think the Lions would have possibly gotten in.
Well, if they had lost, if you give them a win, then they're a different seed.
Well, no, if the Packers had won, they would still be where they're at. If the Packers had actually lost that game, I think the Lions get in that case. But I don't know all the math or the tiebreakers.
Well,
could be talking out of my ass.
I am going to pick the Packers and Jordan Love. I talked about how I thought Caleb Williams would get the first 4,000-yard passer in Bears history this year, and they'd be a top 5 offense. I was pretty close on both. I don't know that I actually hit either one, but it was close. But I did pick the Packers to win the division, and I said Jordan Love would be an MVP frontrunner or candidate, however you want to word it.
You did.
I think the Packers have a more talented roster, even with the injuries, Micah Parsons being out. I think LaFleur has more experience in these situations. I think Ben Johnson in his first run is going to get exposed a little bit. Now, whether that's him or just the team as a whole not being as talented as Green Bay, hard to say. But I will also say the Bears might be a more talented roster right now, given injuries.
From watching Bears games this season, I can tell you, I'm going with the Packers.
Oh.
Because the Bears have played like crap for 3 quarters for most of the season.
They do that a lot.
And then was like in the fourth quarter, just kind of like, oh my God, like we're still there. I do think the Packers, they have rested some guys. They should get some guys at least healthy enough to play. Love should be back. The Bears defense is pretty bad.
I trust Love more than I trust Caleb Williams right now.
I think LaFleur would have watched that Bears San Francisco 49ers game and picked up a lot of things that he could be like, oh, yeah, we could do that.
Well, and you can run Josh Jacobs and play action, and things can get really cray. Yeah, it's going to be whether or not the Packers catch the ball. Right?
I've got the Packers.
Catch the ball, we're good.
I've got the Packers winning, making Seth Rollins cry because he's going to the game.
Yeah.
What's next, Robert? What's the next game on the schedule?
Sunday, 11 a.m. Bills at the Jags.
11 a.m. Man, that's early.
I like
for
Josh
Sunday.
Allen and the Bills.
Oh,
I think the Jags come back down to earth a little bit. I do. I really do. And that's not to say they're not playing great football, and it would not surprise me at all if they win. I just think they come back down to earth a little bit. I think Buffalo is ready for this moment. I think they know exactly what it takes. I think the nerves are going to be even keel. There's not going to be a lot of highs and lows. And I think Josh Allen, honestly, if I'm being honest, I think Josh Allen comes out and balls, and James Cook runs all over that defense. And I think that's the difference.
I'm going Joshy boy. I want him to get one. It's his time. His enemies are not in the playoffs. He's got a chance.
I just looked at the Jags schedule just to make sure they didn't play the Bills this year. They did not. I mean, obviously, I want Josh Allen. I mean, if the Broncos don't win, I want Josh Allen to win it all. But, man, this is tough. The Jags, you could argue the Jags have played the best football the last 6-7 weeks of the
Down
season.
the stretch, absolutely you could, for sure. Which is exactly why I said I think they come back down to earth a little bit.
I'm going to go Jags. I'm going to go Jags.
Going against the boys.
I don't like this Buffalo defense. I'm not. Jacksonville actually plays the run really well. That's the one thing that Buffalo really hangs their hat on is they can run the football on you. If they can't run the football on you, they're going to struggle. And Jacksonville does take the ball away on top of that. So T-Law and the Jacksonville Jaguars are moving on. What's next, Robert?
Then at 2:30, we have the Niners and the Eagles.
Ooh.
I actually think the Eagles roll. I think they've been going a bit vanilla with their offense. I think they come out and run the ball all over San Francisco that cannot generate any form of pass rush. And I think you see A.J. Brown, Goddard, and Devontae Smith, whether they all have big games or not, as a whole receiving core, they will end up with a big game. Whether it's because Devontae went over the top and got something into the middle open, whatever it is. As a whole, they're going to have a big game as well. San Francisco is so depleted. And while I think that offense, the way they're playing right now, may be one of the best in the league right now, I think Philly's defense is pretty damn good, and they're getting healthy. They've been healthy. They've got what they need. And I think that offense has just been kind of playing it as they need to win games, and now they're ready to kind of open things up. San Francisco fully healthy, this would be one hell of a game. I just don't. I see Philly being in control of this from start to finish. Whether it's San Francisco has a chance at the end or not, I don't know. But I feel like it will feel like Philly was in control of the game the whole time.
What do you think, Robert?
I'm going with the Eagles. Injuries. 49ers they're done. They're tired. They're ready for a break. That's how I think.
The Eagles have been so bad, though. Man. Yeah, if Trent Williams does not play, yeah, the Eagles probably win. Right. He makes up a big difference. They run behind him. He doesn't let people get to the quarterback. This could be Brock Purdy's revenge game, though. Remember last time they played in the playoffs, absolutely. They hurt him on the first series, and that was a wrap for that game.
I think had San Francisco gotten the 1 seed, you could have a little bit different narrative with them being at home and the ability to possibly play a home Super Bowl and everything that rolls with it going through San Francisco and stuff. I think having to go all the way across the country and play against a team a lot of people are thinking could be the best team in the league still and are the defending Super Bowl champs. Yeah, I think that's a problem.
Okay. What's next, Robert?
Sunday night, Chargers, Patriots, 6 p.m. Let's go Patriots, Drake May.
Right now, I got the Patriots winning it all.
Oh.
That
No.
the off like
No.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know it sounds weird.
They have one of the easiest schedules in the league this year. So
yeah,
you gotta play who's on your schedule, but they also haven't really been tested.
But what did they do to those teams though as well?
They had some weeks where they looked really bad, and then others where they look. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but I think to just say flat out right now, that NFC side is loaded. To just claim the Patriots are the best team in this whole bracket, I think is a little cray-cray. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, it's tough, and I hate saying it. Makes me throw up in my mouth. Nobody hates the Patriots more than me. Nobody wants them to never do anything more than me. But they played who was in front of them, and they smacked most of them. They play good team football. Mike Vrabel's a great coach. Drake May is balling. If you take some of the receiving core around the league and gave them Drake May, they'd be almost unstoppable.
Maybe.
So I do have them beating the Chargers, full show. Although I kind of want the Chargers to come back to Denver because they were all talking about the Broncos suck, and I want to show them hey, we will mess you up. But
I always forget which league. Does the NFL reseed after the first round?
Nope.
I always forget which league.
Lowest seed.
Yeah.
So the way that we've called it, the Packers would go to the Seahawks.
So they do reseed.
No, there's no reseeding.
Yes, that's what it's called. It's
lowest seed. Well, okay, yeah. Lowest seed goes to the 1 seed.
Like the NBA doesn't do that.
No, they do a bracket.
But the NFL will switch it then. If you're over here, but then this person wins, they'll then flip you and put you over here and then put them. I always confuse myself. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually like the Chargers to win this game. And I'll tell you why. 2 reasons. I think Justin Herbert has a big game because I do think the Patriots can. I think the Patriots can have the ball run on them. And I think the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh like to run the ball. And with Omario and Hampton back and healthy and Vidal coming and the way he's been running the ball, I think they can run the ball enough to get the play action going for Justin Herbert to have a big game. The other thing is I think they can get pressure on Drake May. And because of what you were just saying about the wide receiving core maybe not being the best there is out there, I think that can limit some of the ability to go play action like they like to and run the ball, which then allows the Chargers to kind of load the box a little bit, and you take away those big plays from the run game. Now, could I see that all blowing up in my face and the Patriots winning? Easily. But I'm going to pick the upset here.
Robert?
Next game. I said the Patriots and Drake May at the very beginning. We are running out of time. There's other things we got to talk about.
We are good. Easy.
No, there's not, sir. There's some things I'm throwing your way. You have no idea what's coming yet.
Final gets all excited. It's all excited.
Is the Texans and the Steelers Monday night, 6 p.m. And how great it would be if the Texans win.
Texans are going to freaking roll. They're going to roll.
I'm going to pick the upset here, too. Even though they're the higher seed, I'm going to take the Steelers at home.
No.
I think the Houston defense got exposed a little bit last week, specifically in the run game.
But the Steelers can't run the ball like the Colts can.
I think they'll be able to. They were loading the box because of who the quarterback was for the Colts, and they still didn't stop the run game.
Well, that's good, and that's because
the Steelers have been running the ball well the last couple of weeks. They've been running it really well the last couple of weeks. I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers and the experience over what that Houston defense can do. And I'm gonna take the upset here because of the way
I'm gonna
the
tell you
game's
right now,
start.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't finish the half.
Doesn't finish the half. You're saying he won't even play a full game?
Nope.
Yeah.
They're gonna
You
knock.
want to get a bet on that one?
They're gonna knock his ass out the game.
You want to put another bottle of whiskey on something? I'll put a bottle of whiskey on that.
What do we put a bottle of whiskey on this year?
I think it was last year.
Justin Fields starting week 1.
That was last year for the Steelers.
No, that was this. Oh yeah, last year for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. And he did.
That was last year for the Steelers. You're right. We didn't do anything this year. I did win that, but it was a bit of a not clean win per se.
It was dirty.
Houston's gonna win. Robert, who you got?
I'm picking Houston.
Houston. Okay. All right.
No way.
Hey, Ron.
No way.
No way. No way.
DK's
no way. All right.
back. DK's back, baby. That defense can show up a little bit, just enough.
We've got one last sports surprise topic.
All right. Tell me.
All right. Caleb, do you know what happens in 9 days?
Wait, what?
Do you know what happens in 9 days?
I can barely hear you.
The 2026 car launches for F1 starts.
Oh, yeah. They start on the 15th.
9 days. On the 15th, the Red Bulls start releasing theirs. Your Caddy Boys are February 8th.
Yeah, they're the last ones, aren't they? Or one of the last?
Nope, McLaren has not announced theirs
Not
yet.
announced, that's what it was, yeah.
In 91 days, the Melbourne Grand Prix starts. And Cadillac is on the grid.
Dude, is it that quick?
Yes, it is.
3 months
That's
from
why
now?
I am throwing it in your face now, son. We got 91 days and things are tracking. We're getting interviews. We're getting first looks. We're getting races coming up soon.
Damn, that's a quick
on the
offseason.
horizon.
Holy Lord, that's a quick turnaround.
And the Bottas and Checo interview on Hot Ones was hilarious. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend you watch it.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure something out because right now I have no way of watching any of those races.
So,
I also
I
hate
don't know.
that now I can't record it and just watch it whenever I have the time to. That annoys me as well. I wish they were still on ESPN.
Yeah.
I feel like Apple's going to be terrible coverage. I hope I'm wrong.
And we're also getting Madrid as a Grand Prix this year.
Saw that too.
A lot of exciting things. And all of the car changes, bro. I am
New
so
car,
stoked.
yeah.
We got in at the right time, I think, for the transition. So I'm excited. Pinky, your ass better be up at 6, 7 a.m. to be watching these races, bro.
We'll see. We'll see.
We're gonna make you an F1 fan yet. It'll happen. Just fill up your weekend, buddy. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So really that's what I'm super excited for sports. We got that coming up, and then here in I believe 2 months we'll have the next World Cup games coming up. So which Caleb, I don't know if you were with Verizon, but I did just get an alert that tickets apparently go on sale for them tomorrow.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Now for the nonsense side of things. Pinky, did you actually watch the episode? Did you do your... Well, that sucks to be you.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Watching minor league wrestling and can't just keep up with something we agreed upon.
And you want to know what the worst part is he told me last night he still needed to watch it.
It just didn't happen, fellas. It didn't happen. So talk
Disappointments.
about it. It's fine. I will watch it, but it didn't happen, guys.
So talk about when having a great character, Game of Thrones edition, and then he's gone. Caleb, I was not ready for that.
Macaulay?
He got the... No.
He didn't watch either.
I
Macaulay,
You didn't
no,
pay attention.
Macaulay, I'm getting to Macaulay. He's like the highlight of the whole show.
I don't know which character he's talking about.
The Titus's new best friend. Or Maximus. Excuse me.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Smooth Skin's over here. Bumpy's over there.
Yeah, it felt like something was gonna happen there.
Yeah.
But now he's got his ship, right? So he can fly.
He's got
anywhere
his
he wants
ship.
to. He's gonna have to figure that out.
He's back with his best friend. Civil War is about to start.
I mean, I feel like this puts him on his own little quest, right? His own little separate.
Oh yeah,
journey
well
about...
he's now. I mean, he's got to leave the Brotherhood now. Like, there's
but
no way.
But my question is, does he go back with another story about how another knight got killed, and he was just there to help, and then tries to steal the Arc Reactor and bounce, or does he bounce now and then go back and try to steal it once he meets back up with his love and the ghoul? Like, lot of different webs that can be woven here, and I'm very curious to see which direction is chosen. But it feels like he's got a squire again of sorts.
Well, because that was
very interesting there.
Because the manager ghoul was his buddy from the first season, and then he found out he was a ghoul. So there's a lot that I think is going to be woven in there that I'm super excited for. Which, you brought up Lucy and the ghoul and where that's going. I want to talk about the ghoul back in the 60s here with what all happened with his moment, with being with the veterans and then having the encounter in the bathroom.
Okay, yes, because I want to ask you about a couple things here. So we kind of have to pause. I need to set things up, and I'm hoping I can just shut up and listen as you kind of answer and explain at the same time. From the flashback to current, where we are now, how many years are we talking? What's the timeline difference? And then, was he not? Well, you don't have to answer. I'm hoping you can just spiel off. So what's the timeline? How long has he been a ghoul, kind of thing, idea, if you will? And then, was he not buried and they undug him and basically woke him back up just recently? So then, is that part of the game? How long was he buried? Can he do that whenever he wants so he never actually dies? I'm starting to have all these questions about the ghoul itself. And then on top of that, he meets the man, doesn't know he's meeting the man, then he's going to go meet the man. This man has a lot of contingency plans that he is very well aware of now. So I feel like the ghoul has an end game and plan already, even though he's been talking about one thing. That one thing is actually going to lead to then his true intentions and plan. Set me straight, answer, tell me what's going on, help me a little bit here.
So long story short, ghouls... So the ghoul himself he's over a century old. The show itself takes place in like 2200 or something ridiculous. So, I mean, you're talking hundreds of years, basically. 200+ plus years. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's with the whole deal with all this cold fusion and the vault tech is how revolutionary it was to be able to sustain life, among other things. And so what we're trying to get at right now is, what did Robert House do and where is he at now?
Yes.
And with the ghoul and things, he still knows of this and believes that somehow House survived, which we're still waiting for who the silent voice, if you will, is on the other line for Lucy's dad, which is who the ghoul's going after. So there's a lot of setup there and a lot of explanation to still be had for what that will truly be. And with the games, when you start meeting other ghouls, it's something that they start deteriorating, and they have to, that serum you see him take is helping him keep his sanity.
The yellow liquid he puts in the inhaler, and then that's what he's... Yeah, okay.
And so not only is he having to deal with his own humanity now and what he's become, but he's still also dealing with the lifetime of the past and wrestling with what that is and them merging.
So, sorry, jump in real quick here and then please continue. Lucy's mom was a ghoul though, right? No? When they found her with the Outland leader chick, didn't she have her in chains as her friend, but she was a ghoul, but just skin and bone? Like, she was just bones screaming.
Yeah, because she was exposed to the nuclear blast. Yes. Yep.
Oh. So she's a ghoul because she was exposed. So she's a different kind of ghoul than what the ghoul is?
Because Lucy killed her at the end, because the chick who's recruiting the main ghoul, Cooper Howard, was the one that brought her mom up and was like, this is what your dad's done, and then Lucy shot her mom.
Right, but how did her mom become a ghoul?
The nuclear blast for where Maximus was from, she somehow was exposed to
that second one or whatever. Her mom went up during that.
Correct.
Okay. I'm now timeline's starting to click. Continue, please. Thank you.
So where we're all going is, I guess, when we get to Vegas here in the next couple episodes, what did Robert House do to protect this, and how is the cold fusion being developed along with the mind control elements?
Also, Vegas was left intact
because he protected it.
Right. Why is that not where civilization just picked up and restarted? What is going on in Vegas that Lucy's dad is basically chilling in that whole amazing building all by himself?
And that is where I'm going to stop talking.
Okay, well, you stop talking there for that part, but we can go back to some other things that I want some more conversation of.
Fallout New Vegas is a great game.
I love the fact that they're keeping just enough sliver of humanity in the ghoul to continue to make you want to feel for the character. Because the end of that episode is basically him destroying what you perceive to be just an evil faction of douchebags to save two people, basically, who just wanted to really honestly try to do something good for humanity. Where he could have turned them in and not done anything, right? And just let it play out. And then you continue to flash back to see that he was actually a really good man, an honorable man, before shit hit the fan and the world was nuked and Vault-Tec did what they did. And then he had to. So then it makes me continuously curious and wonder what happened to him between the blast and now that turned him into arguably the most vile human being you could think of, while also still being a good human being somehow at the same time.
Yes.
Nah, Robert, no, that's not the answer I was looking for. Yes, okay.
So again, because he's slowly deteriorating, he's having to grapple with that. What's his sanity and what's his line? And he knows that
no matter whether he takes the serum or not, all ghouls will eventually go.
Yeah. They're all deteriorating.
You can only prolong it for so long, no matter what. So how did he get buried then and like freeze himself then basically and not have to go to just bone?
That's what.
So that's something
for
we may
his
need
story.
an
We're
explanation
gonna have
for.
to figure that out. Yeah.
Is he a special ghoul because of Robert House?
No, not necessarily, because this is something that's worldwide. I don't. If they tell that, that's gonna, in my understanding, that would be different from the source. So that would make sense to me.
Okay. Fair.
Now, that being said, kind of going into there with the ghoul and who he met on his adventures, what did you think of the new California Republic armor and how sexy that was? While he was old, that helmet and that setup is one of my favorite armor pieces in all of media.
I mean, it's a pretty good, like, you think of soldier, you almost think of that World War I kind of round helmet look, kind of boots and the straps and the, right? Like the backpack over the shoulder. And yeah, it's a good look. It does make you wonder though. Like that was one thing I was thinking about a lot is, all right, these douchebags decided to go Roman Colosseum soldier.
That's the Legion.
I know.
Yep.
And then the Republic chose like World War I. Like, where do these people, like, what surplus did they run through at the end of time? So they're like, all right, this is our new look. This is what's available in this store, and this is what we're. But then how do you find that many costumes of the same, like, legit brand? What's happening? Like, how did this happen?
And this is what's going to throw you for a loop. In New Vegas, that is one of the main elements of the game, is the NCR and the Kaiser Legions fighting each other.
Kaiser Legions. Oh, that was so funny when Lucy was explaining that, too. And then the ghoul comes and goes, and apparently you don't do soft C's either. That was clever. Okay, interesting. Because I'm wondering that whole time, does the ghoul maybe just not know, or does he know and he's trying to let him down easy? Are there still members of the NCR out there, or are they the last two? Very curious about that.
I'm
And
keeping my mouth shut.
after he blew up the Legion and allowed them to go straight Civil War and basically get rid of themselves, it made me very much think that he knows there are other factions of the NCR, and that's why he didn't allow them to go, because he does believe in a greater good and the possibility of that. He just knows he's never going to see it, so he's willing to do whatever he has to for his family still. Like, he's not trying to help anybody else. He's just trying to make sure his family's good. That's kind of what my mind thought when I saw that end scene kind of situation.
Right. So yeah, that's the So you'll, in my opinion, there's going to be more of this. You're going to see a lot more of these guys, and a lot more of the Legion, and who knows what Mr. House has.
Excellent.
So
Lucy learned quite the lesson as well, I do believe.
So far that we can think of.
No, I mean, with this last one, like the idea that she's going to have to adjust her moral compass.
Yeah. It's they are doing a great adaptation of this, and I am all for it.
I'm really glad I never played the games, honestly, because I get a look at this as it's a completely undeveloped universe kind of situation in that sense, and everything's kind of a fresh perspective and
because
excitement, because I have no base.
And effectively, what makes the ghoul story so interesting and compelling is that while they can die, functionally, they are immortal. It's just the skin's decaying, and if they lose enough limbs or starvation, dehydration, they can die. So, but otherwise, they're functionally immortal. So what he's really doing and what he has been doing to get to where he is what we're trying to okay, because he was exposed at some point to a massive amounts of radiation.
Yeah, he turned into a ghoul, but was it by choice? So he knew he could live forever to see his family, and it was a last resort that he knew he had to make, or was it forced upon him as an experiment, or did House know what was coming? He's like, well, bitch, take this and good luck living like that for the rest of how? Why? Where? When?
Exactly. How did he get exposed, and where did he get exposed? All of that is what we're what did he do?
And based on the way things are going, and I could be wrong, but that feels like something they could easily wait until a season 5 to finally tell us, the way they're able to continue to develop and give this story.
So much that could happen.
Nice.
And Pinky, when you get caught up, I'm very excited for when we get to talk about it, because the new episode is coming out tomorrow.
I will watch it tonight, most likely. So
just watch it tomorrow so you can watch them both.
You do like to binge a little bit. That would probably be in your best interest.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You could do two for.
This is your one hall pass and have not seen an episode. This is a group effort. You get an F for the week. No gold stars for Pinky.
I will accept my F with dignity. I earned it.
As you should. Take
us home.
That being said, Pinky, we do have a somewhat exciting-ish maybe movie to watch on Netflix coming up for RIP with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. That comes out.
I saw something about that 16th. Today.
I'm always down for a Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie. I mean, they're just some of the great storytellers, I think, of our generation. They've given us great films, and not just in acting, but storytelling and writing on their own. So Pinky, I'm totally down to figure something out to maybe watch that together, or we just figure out a time to watch it at some point and discuss it on the show. I'm game for whatever. But that's the only thing movie-wise that I'm excited about, other than I get my Tron copy delivered on Friday.
Boom, boom.
So excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait to rewatch that on a disc. It's just, ever since I've really started picking out the differences in streaming and discs, it's annoying.
I will say there's a lot of doomsday stuff coming out right now that Robert has been keeping us abreast of, if you will. We threw out a post today on Facebook. If you have any initial thoughts or early reactions of what's been happening and how this is going to go moving forward, go hit us up on that post on Facebook and give us your thoughts. We'd love to converse there.
James
we're
Marsden
watching
in the
this.
blue and yellow suit, baby.
Yeah. We're watching Fallout. We will be watching The Boys all together as well for season 5. If you haven't watched Gen V yet, I know I'm late.
Season 2, gotta watch it.
I know I'm late on it. Like, we're catching up to it. But if you haven't watched it yet, go watch that because, god damn, that is insane. And they do a great job of that not being just some spin-off that you don't need to worry about. It very much ties into The Boys' main storyline, and it's very relevant, and the storytelling is just as good. So totally worth your time. If you haven't seen it, go watch Gen V from start to finish. Am I missing anything else coming up real quick?
No.
I wanted to make sure we got those out there for you because we have been talking about them, and we'll be talking about them more.
Yep.
With that being said, final thoughts. Good sirs, gentlemen, what do we have?
There's so many sports and things happening. It's hard keeping track. Between NFL, F1, and now the eventual World Cup games coming, there's no time. None. Sports is
Basketball,
alive
hockey,
and well.
Olympics are coming up here in a month.
Oh,
Robert
damn it!
and
I forgot about
will
that.
be talking
Son
about
of a
that.
bitch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out because we're not extending our show. We've learned the hard way. If we do that, we will go just in excess. So we might have to do some more shorts to get out to the people with some of the stuff.
Caleb, we might have to do like a 30-minute segment on the Olympics every week.
We might have to do something to recap. We'll see. Then Pinky
we'll do that on our own time without
then
Pinky.
won't ever have to talk
Pinky
about
won't
it
be
here.
included.
Yeah. Pinky won't have to talk about it here, and we can just clip it separately. Maybe. All right, cool. Final thoughts, gentlemen.
I put mine out there. Pinky, what you got?
Look, Superman, this is your time. Your kryptonite is not around this season. If you want to continue to build on that legacy, the time is now. Make it happen.
I like it. It's about the conversation. Be willing to understand what's being discussed before you jump in and throw out an opinion. With that being said, if you have some free time, I suggest you spend those moments with your family, loved ones, inner circle, friends, whoever you may consider that to be. I got these two guys. You go find your own. Until next week, we appreciate everybody that likes, shares, supports. Please do more of it. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Pinky in the building, reppin' orange and blue. Broncos country, yeah, you know how we do. High takes so wild, you remember the name. From college ball to the pros, Caleb spitting game. Robert here, the pop culture plug. From comics to racing, pour the drink in the mug. Sports, nonsense and whiskey, yeah, bold talk. Good laughs and a glass in the air. Sports, nonsense and whiskey, right? Kick back, tune in, take a wild side.